What's happening, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another G80 M3 video. Today's gonna be a fun one because if you guys have been following on the channel for a long time, then you'll know that I had a 2018 F80 M3 with custom wheels on them, and about a month after I got the wheels, I sold the car, so didn't get a chance to enjoy the wheels. So my options were to either sell them or try to make them fit on the G80 M3. So if you guys are not familiar, the F80 has a 5x120 bolt pattern, and all new G series BMWs all are 5x112. Why BMW changed from 5x120 to 5x112, I do not know, but I really wanted to get these wheels to fit on here, and so there weren't really many options other than get custom wheel adapters made or take them to a custom wheel shop and have them rebored, that sort of thing. I don't know how that really works, and I didn't really want to take that chance. So what I did do was I had some custom wheel adapters made that go from 5x120 with the center bore from an F80 to 5x112 with the center bore on the G80. And so there's been a thread going on G80 post about guys who are trying to do this, and no one has been able to really figure it out. ECS Tuning and I think H&R are the only vendors that I think make adapters that go from 5x120 to 5x112, but from that thread I've read that a couple guys tried it and things just didn't work. ECS Tuning is booked out. They don't have anything in stock for several months probably, it sounds like, and so I was scouring the internet and had reached out to upwards of 10 different wheel adapter companies to see if somebody could make me something. I finally found a company out in California to make them for me, gave them the specs that I needed, and they finally arrived. So I've already gone ahead and put one side on, which I'm not going to show you yet. I'm going to show you the process and show you what these wheel adapters look like, and kind of show you what the process is on swapping these on. All right, so I do want to also explain that there are different wheel adapter companies that are available that can make different sizes, but in my experience, most of those companies only make 25 millimeter and above. And so for my custom wheels that I have, which are 20 by 9.5 plus 23 in the front and 20 by 11 plus 37 in the back, again, those are F80 specs. I wanted to do smaller spacers. I didn't want to do, a 25 millimeter plus, 1 inch kind of spacer. That's too big for the G80. So I was doing some math based on the wheel spacers that I put on with my winter setup. If you guys haven't seen that video, go check that one out as well. But I wanted to keep the dimensions similar to that because I thought that it looked pretty good, and I figured after I lower the car, it will be perfect. So took a chance, and again, finding a company that would make custom adapters that were less than 25 millimeters was pretty hard to find, but I did find one guy who actually has an Etsy shop. And what I actually found out later on was I was, messaging all these different companies, and he was actually one of those companies that I met as, message as well. And so I had actually communicated with him, via email, as well as through his Etsy shop. And so it ended up being the same guy. Anyway, the name of the company is BRONSON Investments. They're in San Bernardino, California. They also have a tire shop, Bronson Tire, I believe. And so they were able to custom CNC some adapters for me. So let me show you guys what we have. All right, so this is what I had made custom, and so I have 4 of these actually. So I've got 2 that are 18 millimeter and 2 that are 20 millimeter. And so again, I had these completely custom made from Bronson Investments in San Bernardino, California. And so what this is doing is converting the G80 to the F80. And so on this side, this is the side that mounts to the wheel hub. So this center is going to be a 66.5 millimeter. And then the outside bore, which is this one here, which is what the wheel is going to mount to, is a 72.56 millimeter. And so this is an exact spec for an F80 on this side. So this will fit my wheel, and this side will fit the G80 hub. And so these act just like spacers, as you guys can see, and they already do have studs on here. So these are actually going to be M14 bolts by 1.5. So typically BMW makes a M14 by 1.25, but unfortunately the shop, after I placed the order with them and communicated back and forth, they gave me a call and they told me that they were not able to put 1.25s on here because they ran out of them in stock. So I either had to wait or let them put 1.5 on, which actually, worked out just fine because they did supply new lug nuts here, as you guys can see. So again, these are M14 by 1.5 thread, and it works just fine. And so additionally, you want to make sure when you're doing this that your wheels that you're putting on here do have cutouts on the back side, which I'll show you here. So this is my old F80 wheel. This is going to be up front. So you want to make sure that you've got the cutouts here. So in my case, you guys can see that I've got cutouts right here. So these are the holes and these are my cutouts. And so these are actually large enough for the OEM lug bolts to fit on, because basically what we're doing here is we're putting this onto the hub and putting the OEM lug bolts through and attaching this to the car, and then putting the wheel on top of the adapter and then screwing them back on. So pretty simple install. It's just like normal wheel spacers. We're just adapting the sizes. I know that probably all of that was a mouthful, so I will put more of those details in the video description in case you want to kind of mimic this kind of process. So what I'm going to do first is jack up the car. Like I said, I already did the driver's side, so I'm going to do the passenger side and kind of show you what that process is. So I'm going to jack up the car, take off the wheels on the front and back, and then I'll come back to you after I take the wheel spacers off of here, and then we'll show you what that process looks like. All right, so if you've gotten to this point, you should have already taken the wheel off. If you don't know how to do that and take the spacers off, then you need to watch my channel more, because I have got plenty of instructional videos on how to do this stuff. So we took the wheel off, took the spacer off. I put the spacer or the hub bolts back in here, the 5mm Allens back in. So I put the stock ones back in there, and what we're going to do now, we're going to take our 18mm spacer. So I'm doing 18s in the front and 20 in the back. And so we're doing these 18s here, the adapters, wheel adapters. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some anti-seize on the back side here. I've already test fitted all this stuff, so this fits perfectly on this 66.5mm bore. So it fits right on there, just how it should, but I don't want it to get stuck, so that's where the anti-seize comes into play. And so we'll go ahead and put a little bit of that on. You don't need a crazy amount. Obviously I already have some here on the hub from previously, but we're just gonna put some right here in the spaces, and then also a little bit around the center where it makes contact with the actual hub. So just like so. You can see I'm kind of getting inside of there because this is what's going to hold it into place, obviously. So smear some on there. All right, don't want to go too crazy. This stuff does get messy. So go ahead and put this on. Make sure it fits nicely, perfect fit. Completely custom made to my spec. And so what you want to do is line up your holes here. We're going to take our OEM bolts, lug bolts, and screw them in. And so these are going to be 17mm. And just to point out, if you are ordering custom ones like this, the BMW does take these conical bolts. And so you want to make sure you tell them that when you're having them made, because there's two different kinds. Basically, there's conical and there's, I think, ball seat. And so these are conical seated. And so you want to make sure that they fit nice and perfectly on there. And so since these are, the studs here are built in, again, most companies do 25mm or larger because it's kind of hard to put studs on anything smaller, but this company was able to do it for me, so no problem there. They're not super long. They're actually perfect for my application here. I don't think I need anything longer than this. And again, with the wheel bolts here, since these are OEM, these do stick out, so they're not completely flush here in the circle, in the hole. And so that's where I'm saying, or I mentioned earlier, the wheels that you are putting on here, you want to make sure that the backside of the wheel has cutouts. A lot of companies do cutouts just for weight savings or for reasons like this kind of thing. And so you want to make sure you've got those cutouts, because if it's totally flat, you're not going to be able to put it on. You're going to run into the issue of the wheel not mating up to this properly because the wheel bolts are not completely flush in the hole. So that's your biggest thing. There's a lot of different variables here when it comes to wheel adapters and wheel spacers. So, all right, so I'm gonna go ahead and torque these down here. Okay, and then I'm actually gonna use my torque wrench. I'm actually torquing these down to 104. Okay, and what we're also going to do is take a little bit of this anti-seize here and also put it on the actual adapter. These are hub centric as well, obviously, as you guys can see, and so I want to make sure this doesn't stick to the wheel. Okay. Put a little there. I'm gonna go around here a little bit. Try not to get it all over the place. Okay. Wipe off your excess. All right, next step, once you're ready, go ahead and mount your wheel. Okay. Sure it's on all the way, perfect. And then, so in my case here, we've got it came with new lug nuts here. These are actually gonna be a 19 millimeter. Again, this is going to an M14 by 1.5 millimeter stud. So these are 19s versus the stock, which is a 17. So that's really the only difference. My lug holes on the wheels are large enough, so no problem whatsoever. So, and again, these are conical. So you want to make sure that you get the conical seated ones. Otherwise they're not going to fit. And so as you guys can see, they're perfectly long enough. They don't stick out too far. And they're not, not too shallow either. The only thing I do wish was you guys saw that the adapters, the studs were gold. That's just how they come. They didn't have an option for silver or anything, or black. Silver would have been good for this, but again, very hard to find a company that could make these. So go ahead and put all 5 of these on, torque them down, and you're good to go. All right, and then finally lower your car down a little bit, just till the wheel makes contact with the ground, and then go ahead and torque these. These are also going to be 104. All right, guys, so that's the process. Again, I'll put information about where to get these if you're looking to do something similar or have something similar made. All of that information will be in the video description below, but all of the other wheels are gonna be the exact same process, so I'll come back to you guys at the end and show you what the final product looks like. And again, this is on stock suspension, so I think it'll be pretty good. We'll have a better idea of flushness when we actually lower the car. So that'll be a future video. So stay tuned. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are finished, and finally, here's how it looks. And there you guys have it. So obviously the car needs a drop, but I think they look and feel really great. I actually just drove it around the block as well, and it feels great, and there's no vibrations or anything at all. And I think we'll get a better idea of flushness once we actually lower the car. But from my estimations and my math, I think it looks pretty good. So it could be a little bit more aggressive, I think, but this will also allow me to put some larger tires on here in the future. So if you guys have any comments, questions, or concerns about what we did today, or if you're looking to pick up a set of these, again, all of the information will be in the video description below, so definitely check it out. And yeah, so the G80 is making good progress, and we've got lots more to come. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next video. Take care.